The theme for NAIDOC Week this year is Voice, Treaty, Truth. A treaty has been a hotly debated topic for many years. But do people really know what a treaty is?
No.
Not nowadays.
Kind of.
A treaty is another name for a deal, right?
Treaty is when two groups of people or two countries make an agreement to get rid of all conflict or all arguments or anything that is happening at the moment so they can live in peace, I think.
A treaty is a legal agreement between the Australian Government and the nation's first people, helping all Australians to understand the history prior to colonisation, as well as recognising the injustices that occurred. A treaty would have it all on display as a grounded legal document.
Because it sets down the laws and boundaries of what really happened all those years ago. It tells us the story of how this land was actually theirs before we came here.
Some people get nervous about the possibility of a treaty. They worry about what it will change and what it might take away. But did you know that Australia is one of the only liberal democracies in the world that doesn't have a treaty with its First Nations people? Think about that.
So people feel more empowered when they actually get a say. It affects them and how their life is going to be when it comes to like having a say, like do I say something, do I stay back, or is it like, is it not my place? Saying that? Yeah.
A treaty is so important to our nation's first people because it will recognise them as the original custodians of this land. It will also allow them a voice within local and regional decision making. It will create more First Nations spokespeople to raise further awareness within government about serious issues, ultimately improving the lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait people across the nation.
I think we should have a treaty so we can acknowledge our past and focus on the future to gain closure for our communities.
The Australian government, the Aboriginal people, the Aboriginal communities, and all the Australian people. It'll help them heal.
Some of the incidents, such as the Uluru climbing and stuff, you know, how white Australians are walking over Aboriginal sacred artefacts and stuff, the treaty is to understand that Aboriginal people have sacred artefacts in certain areas that white people don't necessarily understand.
I think that people are scared about having a treaty because they're scared of admitting the truth.
Well, New Zealand and Canada got one. New Zealand, the Maori people haven't been around that long. Australia and Canada's been around longer. And the Maori people got basically one instantly. It would make us feel more better about ourselves. We have a treaty finally that we've been wanting for a very long time, and we now need that recognition that we were the first people here.
Every year at Jamestown High School, we make great strides towards highlighting and showcasing Aboriginal heritage, identity and histories. We also make a point of championing Aboriginal voices. It's one of the things that makes me so proud to be a teacher at this school. I think if we can work towards better representation of Aboriginal people and voices in our school here, we can definitely do that as a nation in a voice to Parliament enshrined in the Constitution.
For a long time, Makarrata has been offered as a different name for the treaty process in this country. But Makarrata is much more than just a synonym. It is a Yolngu word that has many layers of meaning. It means finding peace after a conflict. It means the coming together after a struggle. It is an invitation for Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal Australians to walk alongside each other. It is to telling the truth about the history of colonisation. It is establishing a First Nations voice enshrined in the Constitution. It is working together for our shared future. And that seems like a pretty important thing to get behind.